Hey guys, it's Alexis, aka The Soft Reader, and I'm here today to do my May TBR video. My April TBR got a little rocky with kind of keeping on top of all the books I wanted to read, especially when I got to the middle of the month and I decided to pick up Akamath. So I kind of have a more fluid TBR this month. There are 3 books I definitely want to get to. One new release that I'm hoping to pick up, and then there's 2 other books that if I get to, I will be pleased. Of course, I'm moving this month, so that is going to probably mess up a lot of my reading, but yes, so hopefully I'll be able to get to all of these books. The first book I want to get to in the month of May is This Savage Song by V.E. Schwab, or Victoria Schwab. The sequel for this book, Our Dark Duet, is coming out in the first half of June, and I'd really like to pick it up when it comes out. You guys know Victoria Schwab is one of my all-time favorite authors, so I definitely would like to get to her YA stuff that I haven't read yet, and since this duology is going to be concluding in June, I figure now's the time to go ahead and pick it up. This basically tells our story of our 2 main characters, Kate and August, and they live in a city called Verity, where there are humans, but there are also these monsters who are basically created from like violent acts that humans do. And so Kate is a human who kind of wants to be monstrous, and August is a monster who really wants to be human. And it's kind of about the 2 of them interacting and probably getting into trouble in some way, I don't know, but I'm pretty convinced I'm gonna like it because I love V.E. Schwab. So the next book I want to get to in the month of May is The Last Olympian by Rick Riordan. This is the final book in the Percy Jackson series. You guys know I've been reading the Percy Jackson books this year, thoroughly enjoying myself reading them as well, and this is the final book. It's crazy to me that you guys waited years to read this entire series when I've been reading them in the span of a couple of months. But of course I'm not going to tell too much about what this one's about, because it's the final book in the series, and also it would be like trying to explain to somebody what Harry Potter is about. But I've absolutely enjoyed reading the Percy Jackson series, and I'm super excited to see how this all comes to a head. The last book I definitely want to get to in the month of May is an arc, and it is The Evaporation of Sophie Snow. This comes out, I believe, on June 6th, so in the first half of June. So I definitely want to read it in May so I can go ahead and get a review out for it before its publication date. I don't fully remember what this one is about. You guys know I'm really awful about telling you what arcs are about, but I know it's a sci-fi story that I believe has multiple perspectives about, you know, people trying to save the universe or something, I don't know. I've been in a very large sci-fi mood lately, so I'm excited to go ahead and be able to pick this one up. The next book I'm going to mention is the only new release in May that I really want to try to get to, and no guys, it's not ACOWAR, because I cannot read a 700-page book in May. It's not going to happen, not with everything else on my plate. Much more manageable is Always and Forever Laura Jean, which is the final book in the To All the Boys I Loved Before trilogy by Jenny Han. I read the first book in March, and then I read P.S. I Still Love You, the sequel, in April, and so it's fitting that I'd love to try to get to this final book in May, especially because I've absolutely fallen in love with this series, and I cannot wait to see how it ends, especially given the stuff that's probably going to happen in this book I'm very excited for. For those of you who don't know, To All the Boys I've Loved Before is basically about our main character, Laura Jean, who has written 5 letters to these previous boys that she's had crushes on, and she writes the letter and then puts them away in her closet, and it's like her way of moving on. So in the first book, mysteriously all of her letters get sent out, and she's kind of forced to confront these boys that she's written these letters about and all of the hilarity that ensues. But I absolutely love these books, and I cannot wait to see how this series ends. The next book I would like to get to in the month of May, but I'm not making promises it's gonna happen, is The Dinner by Herman Cook. This is becoming a movie at the end of May that seems super interesting, and I love the premise of this book, so I definitely would like to get to it sometime over this summer. But if I get to it in May, great. If I don't, shucks. This basically tells the story of these 2 couples in Amsterdam are out at a dinner. This whole story takes place over the course of a dinner, and it's basically about their sons, who are 15, have done something atrocious, and it's basically about these two couples trying to deal with what their sons have done. The main thing that interests me about this is that I love stories that kind of play with setting and time like this, where like the entire story takes place in 24 hours, or the entire story doesn't have a non-linear storytelling. So hearing that this whole book takes place over the course of a dinner made me super interested to pick it up. The final thing I'm going to mention is actually not a specific book. It's just saying that I would like to read another arc in the month of May, one of the arcs I've gotten from NetGalley. I try to read 2 arcs every month. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. I definitely have the 1 arc I want to read this month, so I'm hoping at some point I'd like to pick up another arc. But I'm not quite sure which one it's going to be yet, because I'm probably going to try to pick one that's on the smaller end of the, you know, of the page count, because I have a lot of other books I would like to read and I'm moving this month, so yes. Alright guys, so those were all the books I would like to read in May, and you guys should let me know down below definitely what books you'd like to get to in May, or what new releases you're obviously excited for, and I'll see you guys soon with another video. Bye!